Hey guys,
Hey!
I'm really proud of you all today.
Yes!
All week, the government's been putting these rumors online, trying to scare people, telling them there's going to be riots, trying to form division amongst race, amongst party lines, any which way they can. Everybody that showed up here proved them wrong, proved that they're just as hollow and phony as we all knew they were. So I just want everybody to give themselves a round of applause because if you guys didn't come today, nobody would even know. I just want to spend like 1 minute talking about Fearless. The reason I joined with Fearless Ontario is because we were getting public support from the sitting MPP, so he needed an organization to support. This made the mainstream media finally acknowledge us and not acknowledge us as some fringe group, some group of racists or white supremacists. No, they had to acknowledge us as a group of Canadians that know there's something wrong going on and are going to fix it. Randy's amendment might have got shot down, and it got shot down in a way that just exposed the government even more for what they are. A secret vote so you wouldn't know who voted against the government wanting to be able for you to find out why they're extending our lockdown.
Dictatorship!
That's what they did. That's what they did. So now we're up to June 30th. And what was Trudeau's response to this extended lockdown that we have to suffer because it's so dangerous that COVID's going to spread and people are going to die? Did you guys see Trudeau's latest photo op? What was he doing?
Bending the knee!
Bending the knee. Surrounded by more people than are here today. But what did the media say? They actually said this, and in fact, there's actually a letter signed by 1,200 so-called health professionals that have gone out to all world governments because everybody's obviously raising questions. If COVID is so dangerous, how could we have these mass protests with no problems, no fallout, no ridiculous spikes, no deaths? Oh, guess what the health professionals say? Social distancing for those protests is not required because COVID is not as large of a public health threat as so-called white supremacism. I am not joking, and I have the PDF of the letter signed by all 1,200 so-called professionals if you want to read it. And it goes further. It doesn't stop there. There's more, exactly. The next thing they do is single out anti-lockdown protests and say, these, on the other hand, are rooted in nothing but white supremacy and should be declared illegal. I look around, I don't see white people everywhere. I see Canadians everywhere. All ages, all ethnicities, from every country around the world. Our protest here is a representation of Canada. This is Canada on a plate. Literally. And that's what scares them. Apparently this is better. Is that better for everyone? Well, the point of all that was, we now have public recognition. They can't ostracize us. They have to recognize us. Doug Ford had to acknowledge us on mainstream media. He is on the defensive. He had to try to combat Randy. He had to try to combat us. His approval was over 70% at the height of this in April. Now it's under 30%. I am proud to report that Doug Ford has the lowest approval rating of any premier in all of Canada. And I have to tell you, Doug, it's the first title that I think you truly deserve. So now, they tell you June 30th. I hate to say I told you so, but we have me on video multiple times telling you so, that they are going to extend your lockdown. They are not going to give you justification or cause, and they are going to call you irresponsible or racist or anything else they can to ostracize you if you disagree. They use the phasing system as a way to try to stall things. But thanks to efforts like ours, we put so much pressure on them that wasn't fast, that wasn't working. That wasn't working. So now what are they doing? They told you, they're giving you false hope. First of all, they ran an article yesterday saying restaurants should prepare to open. Yeah, look at the actual meat of the article. What date should they be ready to open by? Sorry, I don't have that data available. Look at the guidelines. That guidelines are written by, it looks like they were written by somebody in 4th grade after they ate, I don't even want to get there, but anyway. The guidelines are written in a way specifically to make the business non-viable for the tenant. In fact, our social distancing rule of 2 meters, where the hell did it come from? Does anybody even know? Anyone in the crowd? Shout it out.
A movie! Contagion, the movie!
Well, if you want to know, the WHO official social distance rule for COVID is 1 meter. That's 3 feet, 3.2 feet to be exact. That's what they're going by in all of Europe right now. 3 feet for social distancing. So think about a restaurant where the tables are already 2.5 feet apart. You got to move it another 6 inches. Yeah, that's okay. That's an acceptable guideline. People can follow that. People can survive. People can make money. But what are they doing here? 6 feet between the tables? Really? Really? For a customer that's stationary, not even moving, they have to be 6 feet away. That makes virtually every restaurant non-viable. Do you think that's an accident? Do you think they don't know this? No, it's intentional. Just like the lockdown extension, they told you it was going to be 2 weeks. We're now approaching 16 weeks and counting. And now what's their next stall tactic? They tell you you're gonna open, so you sit at home and you sit by the TV and you say, well, you know, I don't really believe in what the government's telling me, but all the news stations are telling me I'm gonna open soon, so I might as well just wait. The next stall tactic, my friends, is called regional openings. So they're gonna let restaurant patio open way up in Thunder Bay. That'll be around June 30th. That's what you're going to see. For Canada Day, if you want to have a Canada Day barbecue, you're going to have to drive up to Thunder Bay, because that's the only place that's going to be open by then. This gives them an ability to, every week or two, just open up a few places. The GTA is going to be the last place to open, and it represents pretty much all the businesses. Do you know how many small businesses there are in Canada today? Well, maybe not today. Maybe 3 months ago, this was the number. There was over 1.15 million small businesses. That number represents 97% of all the businesses in Canada, 70% of all jobs in Canada. And just within the last few months, since March 16th, we know that at least 20% of those businesses are gone for good. That's around 250,000 businesses just wiped off the face of the earth forever. They're not going to be replaced with anything. They're just gone. The people they employed are now jobless. They are now collecting unemployment from the government that we're going to pay for with our taxes, and the cycle continues. If we allow them to do what they're doing, I said it before, I know this is going to sound repetitive, but every time I say it, it has more clout because I've been right about everything else so far, sorry to say. Thank you. Not always, but quite often. With their regional opening stall tactics and their social distancing guidelines, they plan on milking this as long as we allow. They will keep it going. The GTA will not open until maybe August, September, just in time for their second wave that everybody knows is coming, everybody knows they've already planned for, and everybody knows they're already prepping for. It's coming. So if your business opened maybe a month before they're going to have their second wave and you're at 50% capacity, are you going to survive that second lockdown? Absolutely not. So that's what we started back to work for. Last week I was a little bit distracted with the Fearless Ontario start. We had to speak twice. I also had a death in the family. Non-COVID related, I have to point that out because, you know, just does. Oh, to make matters even worse, when I went to the funeral home, they tried to make me fill out a contact tracing form. A sneaky one too. They make you answer normal questions on the front. It makes you think you're just filling out the normal form you fill out when you go to a funeral home. Then when you turn on the back, they ask for your signature and there's a legal disclaimer telling them how all your information is going to be provided to health officials and you're legally liable for anything you've said. Excuse me? Let's just say they didn't get their form from me. Yeah, read the fine print, definitely. So, we're being attacked at all. If they're that depraved that they will try to attack you, track you, take your freedom from you while you're grieving the death of a loved one, you think they're really going to let you open your business?
But Costco and Walmart's been open the whole time.
Costco and Walmart, of course Walmart's been open. I would also like to point out, Walmart's at its highest of all time. Guess who one of the top 10 shareholders of Walmart is? The Bill and Melinda Gates Philanthropic Foundation. Yes, top 10 shareholder of Walmart. We're just going to point that out. So what are we doing with Back to Work? I just started the fundraising. We got some thousands of dollars. I'm going to be going around to a lot of businesses next week, especially essential ones that are going to have to support the non-essential ones. This is going to be a community effort. But what are we doing? Everybody seems to be confused. I talked to dozens of businesses, and I know they all have one thing in common. Well, two things. They're completely confused, and they are absolutely terrified. Terrified. The government is good at fear. I'm not going to lie. They're very good at what they do. So what did we do at Back to Work? Not only are we building an anonymous network, anybody who signs up, I am the only one who will know your business is in there. Not even the legal team will know unless you ever get charged with anything, which you won't. The second thing we're doing is, we are experts on the new rules and the new codes. These things were written really quickly. They have a lot of loopholes. There's a lot of things you are legally allowed to do at your business, even though you are not allowed to open. We have ways for you to legally generate income from your businesses without fear of government reprisal. This is a means to allow you to buy yourselves time to stay afloat. So our other measures of trying to end the lockdown can work, and you guys don't have to close your businesses. That's what we're doing here. When I say we're trying to get people to open safely and efficiently.
Back to work!
Thank you.
Back to work! Back to work! Back to work!
Back to Work isn't just a slogan. It's not just a thing. It's not a group. It's not a nonprofit. It's literally an essential. It is the most important thing right now. We have a lot of issues on the table. A lot of issues. They're not dumb. They hit you with everything at once to make sure that they can get as much from you as possible. But the most important, the most pressing issue is getting people back to work. If you do not get these people back to work and the economy crashes, we will be in a perpetual cycle of higher taxes, lower standard of living, and government control, the likes of which you could not even imagine. It will be disgusting. And if you think it's going to get any better, just remember, they do closed-door votes, secret votes, to make sure that you don't know who's voting against your best interests. So you can't hold them accountable, so you don't know who to vote for, and you don't know who to vote against. Think about that for a second.
Dictatorship!
It's worse than a dictatorship because they give you the illusion of choice. At least when people have a dictator, they see their enemy, they know their enemy. It's easy to unite against their enemy. In our case, the enemy is trying to tell you they're your friend. They're looking out for you. And what are they really doing? They're trying to turn everybody against each other. They got the people that don't work turned against the business owners. They're happy to stay home and collect $2,000 and more than happy to call you irresponsible for trying to feed your families and not lose the livelihood that you spent the last years of your life building. So it's all about perspective. All these things they're doing, division amongst race, using terrorist organizations like Antifa, which the government fully endorses behind the scenes, by the way. If you think that the government is not endorsing the riots that are going on right now in the States and doing everything they can to try to make them happen here, you need to open your eyes. They want that. They want that fear. What have they done so far? First, they used the fear of the virus to put you in your homes and take away your rights. Now they're using the fear of government power against you to keep you in your homes and keep you from even working. Like, think about how ridiculous that sounds. If I told you 6 months or last year or any other year that the government would have the power to stop you from going to work and the power to tell you that you have to stay home, sit there, and let your life slip away, or they will literally put you in jail, you would look at me like I was crazy. You would call me a conspiracy theorist. You would call me bad names, and you would just write me off. But here we are. You have to remember one thing. What is Canada? If you ask a lot of people that question, you'll get a lot of different answers. But you can go anywhere around the world. I've been to 36 countries so far. And when I tell people, wherever we go, we meet people. And the first thing someone asks you when you're abroad, what do they ask you? Thank you. Where are you from? And when I tell them Canada, the first reaction is always a big smile. Why is that? Because all around the world, not just in Canada, around the world, Canadians are synonymous with freedom of choice, synonymous with opportunity, high standard of living, and because of the combination of those things, we're known as very friendly, trustworthy people. Thank you. That's what Canada is known for. Canada is not that way anymore. It's not. Like, people around the world might not have realized it yet, but if we stay like this, their new normal, please say it with me, no new normal! If we're even worthy enough to get a travel pass to escape Comrade Canada within the next couple of years, when we go abroad to places that actually still have a semblance of freedom, and they say, where are you from? And we say, Canada. I don't think I'm going to get a smile anymore. And that's how I feel. That's how I truly feel. It's, yeah, we'll get a look of pity. We'll get the look like when someone asks us and we say, where are you from? And they say a country you've never even heard of before. That's what the kind of look you're going to get when you say Canada. Third world status. That's where we're heading. We're heading there. We're heading third world economic status, and we're heading to communist style dictatorship tyranny faster than you can possibly imagine. And the population, by and large, is not only complicit, they're just completely oblivious, which is scary as hell. And that's why these protests are so vital. Randy Hillier said it himself. We are making a difference. Big time. People are talking about us. The media is talking about us. They can't call us crazy anymore because people see that the lockdown is being extended. Even the most compliant, trustworthy people that think government has their best interests at heart are starting to see through what's going on. Thankfully, I have faith in humanity because I know that most humans are procrastinators, and business owners will wait till the very last hour before they decide to go up against the government. So I'm waiting for necessity to kick on all you mothers. Just saying. But apparently no one's desperate enough yet, but it's coming. It's definitely coming. The bottom line is, the fact that we showed up today when they tried to use a virus to scare us, they tried to use the government to scare us, they tried to use rumors of threats and violence, direct violence against us just for coming here to scare us.
And racism!
And of course the ridiculous rants of racism and white supremacy. No. Canadian supremacy. Canadian civilian supremacy. And government that works for the people. Period. It's that simple. We want our old normal. No new normal.
Right now we have a very special speaker here. I'm not sure how many of you know, but I definitely